Hello and welcome to the Power Circuit, another edition delivered to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. I am Amara Agogoesi, and on the program today, here are the headlines. Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu says bulk power evacuation will soon improve in Abuja as TCN completes its substation and line projects. TCN board visits NCC Oshobo to improve power transmission system operations. And today in the interview segment, the Regional Transmission Manager, Benin Region of TCN, Engineer Isaac Okbe, will be speaking more in a second part series of discussion about TCN power transmission expansion projects in the region. Stay with us through this edition and you would love it. The Abuja Ring project being executed by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is set to add a 1,000 megawatt transmission capacity, says the Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu. Engineer Aliyu stated this in Abuja while inspecting 5 power transmission substations and lines being built by TCN as a means of expanding bulk power supply to Nigerians.
The minister said the projects include a 132-33 kilovolts gas-insulated substation at Dawaki, along with 3 other 132-33 kilovolts substations in Wumba, Lugbe, and Kuje, as well as a 330-132 kilovolt substation at New Apple.
These are TCN projects and is within Abuja. It is called Abuja Ring project. As you can see, we have been going around in a cycle, going around Abuja, inspecting each of these projects. So in all, we have 6 of these projects, which will increase the wheeling capacity of the TCN by over 1,000 megawatts.
At the Dawaki substation, Engineer Aliyu, along with the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, was conducted around the various components comprising the underground GIS room, the external switchyard, the power transformers and their connections.
Power evacuated will serve this environment, the Warin Pass, the Dawaki, going down those estates, big estates along the Kubwa road, because they have a substation inside that will take care of the load there. So when completed, we are going to have electricity 24/7 in this area. I know we have other substations that are building for Abuja to be fully electrified.
The minister said the new substation will give Dawaki and its environs more electricity as the residents had been depending on supply from Kubwa.
When completed, hopefully around November, December 2022, Dawaki is a new one in order to support the one at the Kubwa, and it will give the Dawaki area more electricity now, and which prior to now, they have been depending on the Kubwa on. So if you separate Dawaki area and environs and that of Kubwa, you can best imagine how it is going to be in terms of electricity supply in that area.
At the 132-33 kilovolt Wumba substation, the contractors also explained the components of the nearly completed work to the minister. He inspected the switchyard, the power transformers and their connections. In his briefing at the Wumba substation project, the General Manager Program Coordination at TCN, Engineer Joseph Shiroma, said the substation was nearly completed and the power evacuation from the facility will make a whole lot of difference in terms of improved power supply.
This same substation is also handled by the same contractor, the Chinese, named Mrs. Xian. They are also the one that are constructing the 2x60.
Speaking further on the Abuja Ring projects, Engineer Aliu disclosed that a platform had been built at the old 132-33 kV Apo substation to receive a 60 MVA power transformer from the Siemens power projects.
The old Apo substation, which is an existing substation. And the reason why we visited there, you have seen a platform that is newly built now, ready to receive a 60 MVA coming from Siemens to that place. And we have inspected that, ready to receive the one coming from Siemens, that is the PPI project. They are going to install a 60 MVA at the old Apo, and hopefully in a couple of days, or after next week, you will see the transformer being installed there, the one that you call the Siemens, which is being cleared. It is already being cleared at the port, and due to the flooding, cannot transport it, and that delayed the transportation. But we are now informed that the transportation will take place now, and it will be installed at the old Apo station that we have visited.
He also spoke about the 330 kilovolts new Apo substation, which he said is bringing in a third source of national grid connection to Abuja from Lafia, aside the 330 kV Katampe substation from Shiroro Power Plant and the 330 kV Gwagwalada substation from Gerego Power Plant.
This one is receiving a 330 line from Nasarawa. If you remember, recently we went with Mr. President to Nasarawa to commission a 330 substation. So there is a line coming from there to the new Apo, and from the new Apo it will be radiated out. One coming here underground, which is 5 kilometers to this place. Other 330 will be going to close the loop between the old Apo and new Apo and link it up there. So this is a project that is funded through a loan of the French Development Agency. It's a $170 million loan. It's a federal government project which started during this government in 2018. The government of President Muhammadu Buhari, in his quest to raise the operational capacity of the NESI, the Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry. This is one of the projects that is being done in order to achieve that. So it's called Ring Project, Abuja Ring Project. It's going round the Abuja as a loop to connect and raise the capacity of the TCN to transmit power to Abuja because of its position as our state capital, the national capital.
The ministerial team also visited the 132-33 kV Kuje power transmission substation, where the minister inspected the over 90% completed power substation. The last port of call was at the 132-33 kilovolts Lugbe substation, where the minister was also conducted around the work level in progress. Engineer Aliu encouraged the contracting team and the TCN management to continue to push the work towards meeting the agreed completion timeline to give Nigerians improved power supply in the Axis. In his remarks, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz stated why TCN conceived and executed the Abuja Ring project.
We have just gone around some of the projects the TCN is handling, and this one is known as the Abuja Ring scheme, which comprises of some stations, substations and transmission line. Our first one to visit was the first substation at Gorumpa, which is a GIS, which is gas insulated substation, 2x60 MVA transformer, 2x60. Then when we finish that, the next project is the New Apo. New Apo is a 330 substation, which will get the line from Lafia in Nasarawa State. It will feed that substation. Then from that New Apo, we are going to have a transmission line underground cable, almost 5 kilometers to Wumba. Then from Wumba, we are going to have a transmission line to 3x60 substation at Kuje. Then from Kuje, there is also a line that will come to this 330 here at Lube, which is also a 330, 13233 kV substation. So we have gone around, the minister have seen all of this, and the aim of this project is to make sure that there is adequate supply to the people of Abuja. If we complete this project, for the next 40 to 50 years, Abuja will not need any more substations. It will be adequate.
Engineer Abdulaziz gave the timeline of when the various substations and transmission will be ready in the capital city, noting that some will be commissioned this year for Nigerians to begin to reap the gains of the Abuja Ring project.
By end of next year, all the projects will be completed, but some are going to be completed this year. Even the one at Gorumpa is going to be completed this month. So latest, the last one, which is why we are here, will be completed by December next year. We have to thank Mr. President for what he did, because all these projects started during his own time. This is something which could have been done earlier, but the previous administration were not ready to fund it. He funded it, and we are going to finish most of them before he left government. So we thank him very much for this.
The Executive Board of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is set to improve on the operational efficiency of the National Control Center, NCC, in Osogbo Transmission Region of the company for the overall strengthening of the national grid. Speaking during a visit of the board to the National Control Center, Mr. Ahmed Imamuddin Talba said the joint committee comprising Committee of System Operations, Market Operations, Technical and Monitoring Operation was instituted by the chairman of the board, Engineer Bukar Bola Mabuni. He explained that the committee was set up in order to resolve the issue of persistent system collapse in the country and other related challenges confronted by TCN operators.
We have a common cause all of us. Our common cause is to better the electricity sector in Nigeria, to better your job and to better the transmission system in Nigeria. So these are our common causes. So we believe you will open us, tell us what you think we should be done.
The General Manager NCC, Engineer Balarabe Abdullahi, in a presentation explained the operational activities of the National Control Center.
The National Control Center, Osogbo, is the nerve center of grid system operation. It was established in 1968 with the responsibility of planning, monitoring, evaluating, controlling the integrity of the for efficient operations. The scale of operation of this transcends the geographical landscape of Nigeria, the Republic of Nigeria, Togo, and Guinea are currently interconnected with the Nigerian transmission network.
The board members were also conducted around the control room of the National Control Center by Engineer Abdullahi. The Regional Transmission Manager of Osogbo Region, Engineer Mojid Akintola, during the tour of the Osogbo 330, 132, 33 kV power transmission substation by the TCN board members, enumerated the achievements of TCN in upgrading equipment to ensure smooth power transmission. He said the region is also working to energize the new 330 kV accurate substation and its transmission line.
They are constructing a special tower so that they can energize that accurate equipment, because the construction is completed. It's just the line to energize the station that is giving us problem. So we are trying to do a special tower around that area so that we can link directly to the station so that we can come up. Because Ondo and Ikiti, we are having issue there because they are being given 35 megawatts. So but if that station can come up on 330, we should be able to increase their resistance.
Also, the Regional Operations Manager, Engineer Yunus Olani, explained the dispatch process of bulk power from the Shogo substation's control room.
We send supply to Akure, to Ife-Odo, to Ilesha, to Iwo, Shed site, then to the Lorry site. Then we have the tree, we have the township, we have Ife Township, business that we have NTA, we have water works again.
We'll be right back after this break.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
You are right onto the interview segment of the Power Circuit. With us today is Engineer Isaac Ope. He is the Regional Transmission Manager of the Benin region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Engineer Ope had spoken about key transformations in the Benin transmission region in a recent interview session. Right in this interview at the regional headquarters located at the 330, 132, 33 Benin main transmission substation in Benin City, he explains more about these expansionary activities. Hear him speak. What states does the Benin Power Transmission Region of TCN serve?
The bulk cooling capacity of Benin region is 756.1 megawatts, and Benin region covers the entire Edo State, almost the entire Delta State, then part of Ondo and Ekiti states.
What is the status of ongoing projects in the region?
We have new upgrade of transformers that is ongoing, and presently almost all the equipment have entered. So we have in Benin, we have 2 by 150 MVA transformers, 330, 132 being upgraded to 2 by 300. In Afro, we are upgrading 160 MVA to 100 MVA. In Delta, we have another 150 MVA plus 160 MVA that is being upgraded in Delta subregion. In Erwa, we are upgrading from 60 to 100, and in Ondo, we are upgrading from 2 by 30 to 2 by 80 MVA. As we are talking, the contractor is on site. In fact, in Benin, they have started civil work on the bays that are available, while other areas, like all the equipment, have left the ports and they are here domiciled, so the work is ongoing.
Are there challenges of rights of way of power lines in the region?
It is like a common, something that's beginning to develop now, and from interaction with colleagues, it discovered it's nationwide. People suddenly have started encroaching on our right of ways, even built up lines that are reserved for years. We are doing all we can by way of enlightenment to dissuade them.
The regional transmission manager of the Benin region of TCN, Engineer Isaac Okwe, at the switchyard of the 330, 132, 33 Benin main transmission substation, restated the progress of work on an administrative building. Engineer Okwe also spoke on the delivery of equipment for massive power transmission service upgrade in the Benin region of TCN.
So like we said, this is one of the office complexes being built. This one for the sub-region. In front there is one for ISO. The one for Sapele is almost complete. One for Delta and Omotosho is ongoing, while the regional office in the Hobo with the Hobo Work Center on is equally ongoing. These are part of the equipment for the upgrade, the components and parts of the transformer and other equipment for the upgrade.
The Benin transmission region, which hosts several power plants, is at the center of these transmission rehabilitation and expansion efforts of TCN to ensure the national grid has more bulk power evacuation capacity for onward delivery by the distribution load centers to Nigerians nationwide. Words are proficient when spoken, and we have words on marble when they are spoken by passionate people. Let's take a sound bite from the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz.
I wish to commend each member of the management team for their continuous productivity and persistence in ensuring we never rest on our course. Most mostly ignored are executive directors, regional managers and regional heads who put in the working extra time around the globe, even after normal working hours, just to meet up with timelines.
Well, before we let you go, here are the headlines again. Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu says bulk power evacuation will soon improve in Abuja as TCN completes major substation and line projects. TCN board visits NCC Oshobo to improve power transmission system operations. On the program's interview segment, the Regional Transmission Manager, Benin Region of TCN, Engineer Isaac Okwe, concluded a discussion on the quantum leaps on power transmission project execution in the region. In the next edition, we'll be bringing to you proceedings of the maiden edition of the Human Resource Management Conference of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Watch out for this. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel. You can always interact with us on our platforms as we are committed to serving you better. Thank you for staying with the Power Circuits. I am Amara Agogesi.